Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 20. The final round of our Classic Championship is upon us. Kevin Schwantz lead the championship by 17 points. We have one goal in mind today, and that is win the World Championship. So starting in pole position is Mick Williams, Arbe is Schwantz in the front row, Biaggi, McCoy and Crivier on row 2, Rossi, Gardner, Rainey, Kaczynski, Lawson, Roberts Jr. on the final two rows, and finally on the final row, Mick Doohan in row 5 on his own. Waiting for the red lights to go out for the final time in this Classic Championship, and away we go! Red lights are out. Kevin Schwantz, not the best of starts, a little bit shaky, a little bit wobbly, trying to get the grip on the tyre, not getting it. Oh, contact's gone! Gardner's down! Another one's gone down! Doohan's gone down as well! Oh my god! Carnage already has occurred here in this Classic Championship finale. Oh my goodness. As we get up on the inside, McCall Riders contact made into Crivier. That was a dirty move. I ever did see one from Kevin Schwantz. It definitely deserves a slap on the wrist for that one. Oh my goodness, what a start. I can't believe how hectic these races are in this MotoGP 20 Championship. It's raining. Oh my goodness, that's the last person we want anywhere near us in this championship showdown between Crivier and Schwantz. Rainey will definitely stick his nose in where it's not needed. We've seen him do it too many times this season. I do not fancy him attacking us or chucking any would-be lunges up on the inside of us. Not today, we certainly don't need it, is he? Oh my goodness. Right on cue. He chucks it right up on the inside of Schwantz and tries to get away. He does not care for the World Championship. He does not care for Kevin Schwantz. We'll get him back here on the right-hand side of turn 11 if we can. He's sliding a little bit, struggling to try and keep the tyres in line there and in shape. As we'll flick it right now for turn 12 for the Champiqueros. We'll continue to push forward. We have had a terrible, terrible start. But just as well, Alex Crivier also had a bad start. Now bearing in mind, we do lead this championship by 17 points going into this one. So as long as we finish ahead or just a couple of places behind Crivier, you've got to believe that Kevin Schwantz will be the world champion. Jeremy McWilliams in the lead as it stands with Arbe, Biaggi, McCoy, Rossi, Kaczynski, Roberts, Schwantz, Rainey and Crivier being your top 10 as things stand. Leaving the Jorge Martinez Aspar corner for the second time of asking, going into turn 3 for the Mick Doohan corner. Excuse me, this is turn 2. Getting a little bit too ahead of myself. On track, Rainey not far away. Kenny Roberts Jr. having a good old look behind him. Turn 3 is upon us. Turn 4 for the Nico Terol corner. Getting onto the rumble strip to try and get as much line as possible. We didn't go anywhere near it. Now we get to the rumble strip for turn 5. But that's not the one I was referring to. As Kenny Roberts Jr. is ahead of us. Doing well on the Suzuki so far. He's stayed out of trouble. Can't be said the same for the in the Laguna Seca Grand Prix, that's for certain. As he was skittled out by Alex Crivier in the starting lap. Now hold it left for turn 8. Difficult chance to try and get me breath at some points in this Grand Prix. Trying to swallow and breathe every other moment because I can't get my breath otherwise because we're going with the inside of Kenny Roberts Jr. for the very first time. Kevin Schwantz up into 7th place. It's going to get a bit closer to Gary McCoy. Can we get around the outside of... oh, brilliantly done up on the inside of the Cagiva. Now we've got Rossi in our sights. He's in 4th place. What a recovery from Kevin Schwantz. We really don't need to be pushing this hard, but why not? It's the last Grand Prix of the season. I want to go out with a bang. And with a bang, I mean a positive bang, not crashing out of the Grand Prix. So we'll see how we get on in the slipstream of Valentino Rossi. Not a bad season for him. It's an early season for the young man. I'm sure he can do better next time out. For the next MotoGP, it'll be 21 championship by then. It'll be another classic championship, of course, but it'll be 21, which I cannot wait to begin. So a little bit wide for turn 2 for the Mick Doohan corner. Still in 2nd gear. You can drop it down to 1st gear to give you that extra oomph coming out the corner, but it's difficult to maintain with these tyres. You're going to be holding a very, very little amount of throttle. We slide again into out of the exit of Nico Terol. We're into turn 5, closing in on Valentino. A little bit on the green there. Have to avoid doing that again. Don't fancy getting a penalty, not in the final race of this season. Max Biaggi taking a bit of a look behind him, just ahead of us. He's about a good couple of bike lengths away now, so we're not close enough to attack Max Biaggi. Well, you better believe we're trying to get 4th place. But in time and in tune, Valentino Rossi is also closing in on the front runner, so maybe we stay behind the young Italian. That might be a worthwhile investment, but in fact we're going to make the move now because we are much, much quicker into turn 10 and turn 11 respectively. So Valentino sticking behind us if you want to try and catch up to the front runners. Of course, we did go onto the green again there, but thankfully no penalty was given. Biaggi now it's in second place. He probably knows that we're coming. And if he wants to attack, he's probably going to have to attack now. He was brilliant last time out, Laguna Seca, setting the fast lap of the Grand Prix. On the final lap as Valentino Rossi dives with the inside. Little bit of a moment, little bit of a mistake from Kevin Schwantz, and Rossi did not hesitate to take advantage of the World Championship leader as things stand. Across the line, Williams, Biaggi, Abe, Rossi and Schwantz. This is the eyes we've got the focus on right now for this battle in particular. As we go over the inside of Valentino Rossi, beautifully done from Kevin Schwantz. The Suzuki man just chucked his Suzuki right up in the inside and said, "Don't argue, young fella." As we flick it left for the McDowell corner. Not the best of results for McDowell this season. Probably the most disappointing rider in this season so far. And I don't think it's all down to himself. He has had some terrible, terrible luck. Just like in this Grand Prix here today. So of course, whoa, a little bit of a slide there from Kevin Schwantz. Remember Silverstone? The last time we slid and went onto a rumble strip, it ended in tears. Ended in a sore throat for me. And ended in just dislikes from all over the world. We did not like Schwantz practically dying in Silverstone. Very difficult track. As we go for the inside now of Abe. No questions asked. I'm taking you third place. No refunds. We're through. Brilliantly done. Schwantz now up into third place. The podium positions after starting in third place, dropping down to almost the back of the grid as carnage ensued at the beginning of this Grand Prix. McWilliams is not getting away from Biaggi. Biaggi's probably going to have a lunge sooner or later if he gets close enough. Because, of course, he might not even get close enough because we might have Biaggi before he even gets McWilliams. We are doing extremely well in the wet. Now, following on from Daniel O'Brien's advice, I basically just turned off the engine braking, and that has shown pretty good success so far in this wet race. It's extremely sodden for Valencia. Not ideal to be finishing off the season in the rain, but it's a 1 minute 35.5 for Kevin Schwantz. That is a brilliant lap time, and he is only getting closer and closer to these guys in the front. We could definitely be looking at going out and bowing out with a victory for the World Championship leader. Of course, it isn't over yet. Anything could happen. It's a long Grand Prix, but with 17 points in the championship and this far ahead of Alex Crivier, you have to believe that it might be curtains for Alex Crivier. It's difficult to say who's been the most astounding rider this season. I'm probably going to have to say Alex Crivier was the biggest surprise. He was absolutely brilliant all season long, but unfortunately just couldn't seem to get it done towards the end of the Grand Prix. The last couple of races in particular, Renault, that crash in, oh my goodness, what a move, round the outside of Biaggi. Didn't even give him a chance to respond. Coming up with the inside of McWilliams, do two riders in as many corners, it didn't happen there. But of course, what I was referring to with Crivier, last couple of races for him have just been disappointments. And due to those disappointments, is taking him out of the championship battle if things continue. As Kevin Schwantz now up on the inside, he is now in the lead. What a comeback from Kevin Schwantz, the American doing everything correct today. He's done extremely well this season and could now be on par for his third victory of the season. Take that one, I would love that. That would go down super, super well to win the championship and the Grand Prix at the same time. Even set the fastest lap, it's practically a triple. It's just a shame that we couldn't get the qualifying right as well. I mean, getting on the front row was, I would say, was crucial, but at the same time, I don't think it was anymore because as McWilliams now gets ahead of us, but for some reason the graphic on the left-hand side doesn't even show McWilliams. Schwantz, Biaggi, Rossi, Abe, Kaczynski, Roberts, Rainey. There's no sign of McWilliams. What on earth happened to him? He's still there. He's still in second place. But for some reason, he's just disappeared from the timing screen on the left-hand side there. Oh my goodness, was that a preemptive strike? Jeremy McWilliams has just crashed. What a disappointing end for him. He has been brilliant towards the end of the season. He's been good in the wet, and that's such a shame. I think that was back-to-back pole positions as well for him. That's a shame. That is a big shame for Jeremy McWilliams. He's now down to 6th place. Still roughly around 5th and 6th place, so it's not like a podium's on the cards anymore. It looks like it's going to be Biaggi and Rossi that will be trying to chase down the World Championship leader, which could potentially be changing the term leader to the winner. So we'll see how we get on with just 4 laps remaining, or at least 3.5 at this point. McWilliams has just lost another spot to Wayne Rainey. Rainey, after his dominating performance in Jerez, just disappeared. Really, really disappeared. It was weird to see. Of course, I think losing in Donington, he let Kevin Schwantz get under his skin. Of course, then the absolute carnage ensued in Mugello, where the two men went completely fisticuffs in that battle, and Wayne Rainey came out the worst for wears, definitely, because Kevin Schwantz is now leading this championship comfortably with only one Grand Prix remaining as we run it completely wide there. Rossi, he's coming. Rossi is not letting this one go. I think Valentino Rossi wants his first win of the season. He's finished behind Schwantz before, but this time he would like to change it into a win. You know, the young Italian wants to win. He doesn't really care about the championship at this point. It's not his battle. He's just here for the win. He's here for the Grand Prix battle, for the podium at least. It would be great if Rossi could get a win, but right now, Kevin Schwantz is looking like the better party. So we'll see how things get on. It's 1.5 tenths of a second difference between Rossi and Schwantz in round 12 of this MotoGP Classic Championship. The final round, if you weren't quite aware, if I've not made that point clear enough yet, it is the last round, the finale, as we're getting closed into the Angel Nieto corner for turn 6. Don't think Rossi and Biaggi have got what it takes to get ahead of us, because we are looking extremely comfortable. Now, just to mention, I did change the brakes to the sort of shorter, smaller brake. So instead of it being such a long, larger and tight braking zones, it's more of a gentle and relaxed braking, and I must say that it's really, really good. It's much more comfortable to use. Of course, when you're using it on the dries, it does make sense to use the larger brake, and the harder braking is what's much, much better. But for this one, you can be quite gentle with it, and it'll still bring you into the corners quite nicely. It's sort of a gradual brake, opposed to a sharp, sort of intact brake. So I'm pleased with the selection of this one so far. It was a bit of a gamble on the grid, but I felt like it'd be a good idea, and so far, it's working to perfection. I'm really pleased with it so far, as Rossi is not close enough to have a lunge at any point. Biaggi is right there with Rossi, so that battle's probably going to go down to the end, providing that this battle for number 1 is not going to be anywhere near. As we flick it left for McDoohan corner, gentle braking, as you can see on the graphic in the bottom right hand corner of your screen there. Gentle braking with a little bit of rear brake. There's not much full aggressive braking in this track. It's very 3/4 to maybe a half to almost 3/4. As Crivier and Arbe battle for 9th place. That is a disappointing finish for Alex Crivier. It really is. He's been so good all season, and to see him struggle down at the back of the grid, or at least towards the back couple of spots, that's sad, especially his home track as well. It's going to be a very disappointing end to Crivier, especially because 17 points for the championship at this point, it really doesn't tell the whole picture. Crivier was brilliant all season long. He dominated the championship lead at once or twice. It's just a shame not to see him up there anymore. It's been a brilliant finish. It's really, really good. For us, at least, for Kevin Schwantz fans, we did it so well. But it's going to be a shame to not see the championship leader from a couple of races ago even feature in the top 5. Let alone a podium finish. He's now going to be taken by Gary McCoy. He's now down to 9th place again. And he fights back again for 8th place, giving it as good as he's got, old Spanish Crivier. As we go into the Adrian Campos corner for the second to last time. The penultimate lap is finished in a moment's time. Rainey and Roberts continue to battle, but the battle we're looking at right now is, if you can call it a battle, Schwantz, Rossi, Biaggi. It looks relatively comfortable. There's many bite lengths between Rossi and Schwantz. 9/10 of a second was the gap over the line. I think Kevin Schwantz has got this in the bag. He looks impervious. He looks absolutely brilliant, just like he did in Brno. Ever since the skirmish in Silverstone where things went horribly wrong, he's been brilliant in the wet. Really, really good. And to be fair, the only mistake we made in Silverstone was that one high side. And after the high side, we completely ruined the race. But before then, we were closing in and we were looking pretty menacing. So I don't think we've truly seen our full potential in Silverstone. But right now, I think we're showing just how well we can battle in the wet. And it's not even a battle, I guess. It's just complete domination from Kevin Schwantz. This is a man possessed. It's a man so focused on the championship that he does not care what the temperature is, does not care what the weather is, and he does not care about the opponents behind. And they are definitely behind. They are even falling behind now. Maybe Rossi's just taking the second place, took the foot off the pedal, let's say. Just sort of accepted position, and you can't be mad at that. That's a very wise decision from a very young but mature Italian. As we now go into the Champion Ross for turn 12. Turn 13 to be navigated, turn 14 in a moment's time, then the Adrian Campos corner. We have dominated here today. I am so pleased with the victory. The final results are in, and it is depicted as so. Kevin Schwantz wins, Rossi in second, Biaggi in third for the final round of the MotoGP Classic Championship. What a way to bow out for Kevin Schwantz. 3 victories this season, and the third being the biggest. So our final results are as shown. Kevin Schwantz wins. He is the world champion of the MotoGP Classic Championship. Alex Crivier in second with 34 points, and Norick Abe takes third place, just ahead of Max Biaggi with 78 points behind. What a championship, guys. What a ride. It has been so good. So now we see our world champion celebrating in Parc Fermé as he has just done the impossible. But guys, this concludes our MotoGP Classic Championship, and let me just say thank you so much for joining us. I have had an absolute blast commentating these ones. They have been my favourite series yet, and it has been truly a blessing. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed. Hit the notification bell to be alerted to every single DrAce upload. And upon that note, guys, thanks for watching, and ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.